Thank you. I forgot to unmute the mic. Thank you for that. Okay. That's what chat's for. We're good now. Welcome back. It turns out that for whatever reason, my Ethernet is really unstable and the Wi-Fi is stable. I don't know how that's possible because they're both they're plugged directly in. But yeah. Anyways, to reiterate all the stuff that we're doing here, so I figured out that the rewards were getting really weirdly scaled in the observations. You include the rewards in the observations. It's a big thing. And that means that they weren't able to actually see the rewards that they were getting. But now that I fixed it, it looks like they're scaled in the opposite direction. They're overscaled. So that leads me to believe that there's something wrong with this reward function, and that as soon as we fix it, it should be able to solve this. This is a very, very easy task. Not the whole environment, obviously, but just go to the center is given a like reward every time you get closer. That's a very, very easy task to solve. So this is the sanity check goal for today, right? Is we want to have these things just go to the center and fight it out, learn the most basic strategy, and then we'll figure it out from there. So how the heck are these things getting rewards of 0.99? Self.rewards of PID and compute observations. Do we zero these in reset? Do I zero these in reset? I don't zero the rewards in reset. So I could do self.rewards of PID is 0. Let's try this. Let's see if it's just a reset bug. Okay. Zero on the reset time step. .996 still. So am I just scaling this wrong? Let me think. It's 0.1. Ooh. It's 50 times the reward cast to an unsigned char. And then, so this is 0 to 255, and then it gets divided by 255. So yeah, literally this has to be like, this has to be 255 in order for this to happen, I would think. You can cast like this, right? This doesn't do something weird. No, it works perfectly fine for player X and player Y, it looks like. Right? Yeah, those are reasonable values for X and Y. Very reasonable values. So I've got to assume that the rewards are getting weirdly computed at some point, right? We're not muted now, right? Yeah, no, we're good. Should be good at least. I'm assuming that people are not watching a muted stream, so I'm assuming we're not muted anymore. Not muted, good. Thank you. we do this difference right here. So we have previous distance, we have current distance. This should be at most 1. And then the reward is 0.1 times this. Shouldn't be getting any XP. So this should be the only reward component. I think we should just print this out. We should just print out this reward right here, right? PID. Right. Let's see if this, let's see if the reward is too large going into the observations here. Okay, so flat features, 0 rewards, right? We hit continue. We see a bunch of zeros. We see a negative value here. Ah, right. Negative values are going to roll over. Yeah, negative values are going to roll over. That's why. So because we have a small negative, this turns into a big positive. Okay. So it does make sense to have a negative reward here, though. Maybe I just want to center it. What if I just do like 25 times rewards plus 128? Right? I could do this. Little awkward, but let's see what happens if I do this. Okay. We should still have some negatives, right? And then perfect. These are all 0.5 plus or minus a little bit. The thing is, these are really close together, right? These are really close together. I think what we're going to do is we're going to modify this curve so that we can scale more aggressively. Because those values are going to be too close to separate. So we're going to do int reward. And then we're going to do reward equals int xp divided by. Is 1,000 good? I think 1,000 is still, well, 250. 250 is like a big objective, right? That's a nice scale, yeah. And then what we're going to do is if reward greater than 1, we're going to clip it. Reward. So now we know that we're never getting more than 1 from that source, right? So now we can scale much more aggressively. And I can say that this is going to be I can't multiply by 128. Can I multiply by 100? Hey, Quinn. Welcome. We're debugging rewards here so that we can train some good models. Okay, so like the best reward you can get right now is 1.1, right? So if I do like 1.1 times, was it plus 120, was it 1.1 times 100 plus 128? 238. And then if I do negative 0.1 is the worst you can do. 118. I don't like that. Okay, this is fine. I'm just trying to find some decent scaling here. I think I found it perfectly, pretty much. So we're going to do, this is going to be 200 times this reward plus 32. And then we're going to spot check this. We're going to spot check this to make sure this doesn't overflow. And obviously, I'm not going to leave all this stuff hard-coded like this, because this is like ticking time bomb. But the goal is to just get some models to work and then make sure that this is reasonable. Okay, so flat feature should be empty or not. Right, because this is the 0 because yeah, that's fine. This data should now be diverse enough. Yep. So now we at least have some reasonable level of separation here. I mean, it's not huge. It leaves a lot of room for higher reward spikes, but I think this is good overall. I think this is good. So with this fixed, I think that's actually going to make it easier to learn as well, because they're going to get a big reward for fighting creeps. Rescale rewards. We'll see whether this is enough on its own or not. It very well might not be. And we're going to set a more reasonable 250 mil steps. These are still decent default hyperparams, so we're going to keep these. And then we're going to get models training. Track. Okay. We're now training. We're training at over 500K. It's not perfect, but it's decent. And we'll see how the reward curves happen. I'm going to go use the restroom. I'll be right back. And then we will look at the reward curves for this. So we've got this thing training fast. Very nice. Of course, it slows down as soon as I come back. What's this MOBA say? Very weird. Reward goes up and then goes back down. No levels. So this is worse. Where's entropy? Are we getting entropy crashes? Doesn't look like we're getting entropy crashes. I want to check the one from last time, because the run from last time was clearly an entropy crash, but I don't know if it registered as one. No, not this one. The one before. This is another common debug thing here. If entropy is crashing, it means that your policy is collapsed. So interestingly, this thing, which was basically the agents just like not doing anything, this actually has reasonably high entropy. So something is very wonky here, because that shouldn't be possible. Do you think having a continuous reward of positive numbers equal to a reward centered on 0 with positive? Basically, does the PPO algorithm differentiate? It is all relative. PPO includes a value function baseline. So it's actually just going to be the difference in the reward and what the model has expected the reward should be. Are you training an AI to play Dota League? We're training an AI to play a miniature version. This is not the fine grain render. This is a high level render. So we have something that works more or less like Dota. It has 5 heroes. It's a mirror match for now. It has creeps. It has neutral creeps, waves, towers, all the same towers and stuff. So it's very stripped down, but it runs at over 1 million steps per second. And we are training agents to play this very, very fast. That is what we're doing at the moment. This is currently training on 2.5 hours worth of games every single second that we run it. And I'm currently debugging what is wrong with these agents and why they're not learning very well. This is the first day we've actually tried to train anything on this. So of course it takes a little bit of time to figure out how to get stuff working properly. Entropy is very weird here. Entropy is very, very weird here. Entropy tells you how different the actions are that the policy is taking. If entropy collapses, it basically means it's always pressing the same key. That does not seem to be the case here, though it's hard to tell, because before it looked like that was what was happening. It's possible that it's learning to just press its Q, W, and E keys randomly, and its movement is collapsed. That would also lead to this result. Would a piecewise smooth reward function be good for their distance to ancient reward? What specific piecewise smooth function? The way that the reward is at the moment. So first of all, there's a difference between the reward and the observation of the reward. So what we're doing is we are setting the reward to be a number that is, at the moment, it is between -0.1 and +1.1. And the asymmetry comes because you can get an XP reward of up to 1. It can get an XP reward of 0 to 1. And then there's a movement reward of -0.1 or +0.1. The observation of the reward is not the same. The observation of the reward is scaled and offset a little bit. So it's basically between 0.1 and 0.9 or something like that, just scaled. And the reason for that is just because we have to store this reward in 1 byte. So we do some scaling and some data munging around to make that convenient. That shouldn't even be critical. It really should be able to learn this without that. So Yeah, I don't think that that's going to be the problem either way. It's nice for them to be able to observe their reward reasonably, and it does help. It can help quite a bit, but this is frankly a very, very easy task for them to learn. At least, like, just run down mid and fight stuff should be a very easy task to learn. And it looks like that is not what is being reflected here. So why is the reward? We've already checked the observations and they seem reasonable. Why is the reward this bad? This should basically be free, this reward. There's got to be a reason why they're learning this weird behavior. Got to be a reason. Let's go look at the policy. I bet it's going to just be like collapsed. I haven't tried this with multi-discrete lately. It could be an error with my multi-discrete processing, because there are two components to the actions in this game. But we have tests for that. Though possibly I haven't run them very much lately. Oops, nope. Let's pull the file down and look at it. Okay, so it basically just learned to do the exact same thing, right? Where it went over to here. Why does it do this? Why does it do this? Possibilities. You know what we should do? Why don't we play? Let's us play the game, and then let's see what rewards we get while playing the game. That would be a fun way to figure this out. Could it be end related, not the rewards? Yes, it could be very many things. I think that the easiest way to like catch most possibilities is going to be for us to just like get this back being human playable where we control it, and figure that out from there. Probably the least painful way to go. Um, okay, pretty much this. Let's go grab the logic for converting actions here. Because we have it discretized, meaning that we play this with keyboard for the current little tests. Key. key, or this is key W, and key D, no, key A, 0. The default action is 4. Key D is going to be what's the next one? RL det is so obnoxious. This conversion is really obnoxious. Yeah, I just need to do to quickly figure out without messing up how to make sure I'm controlling the character in the way that I think I am. So the way I have this indexed, it's easier to actually split on. This should be A, and then this is going to be S, right? So, and then this is A, S is, no, because it's flipped. So this is W. Yeah, that gives you 0. And W, LF key down is S. Action equals 2, right? Is it 1 or 2? It's 2. A, D. Yeah, there we go. So W gives you 3. Right? And then this is wrong. This is 5, 4. And I missed some somehow, didn't I? Press. If it's A is down, D is down. Oh, right, because there's also key W and I gotta fix the indices, but it's something like this, because Ashen, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So okay, this is the right logic. I just have to get the keys. A and W is -1, -1. This is 0. This is correct. A and S is 1, -1, I believe, which is 2, which is correct. And then else is just key A, which is just left, which is 0, -1, which is this is correct. And then key D and W is this is -1, 1, I believe, which is actually action 6, right? -1, 1. And then key S is D and S is 1, 1, I believe, which is actually action 8. And then key S, or not key S, just key D is 0, 1, which is 7. Okay, 6, 8, and 7. And then just key W is just -1, 0, I believe, which is... Where's -1, 0? 3. Which is correct. I have it correct. Which leaves only 5, which is 1, 1, 0. Okay, perfect. So I have all of this. Okay. And we'll comment this for now. Don't know what all this crap is. We don't need any of this. Cool. See if this works. No is key down. What? Oh. It's just API'd wrong. Cool. Target PID not defined. We don't care. All right. So we have this thing. It doesn't look like we're controlling it though. So let's figure out why we're not controlling it. Because this is commented as why. This enough? Oh, little awkward that the W key overlaps like that, huh? I didn't think about that. I'm gonna have to replace this with like up, down, left, right, I think. But for now, is this still not getting applied? Self.human action. It's getting returned here. It looks like it is getting applied. Hold on. Okay, we get a breakpoint. This looks like it is getting applied. So, oops, we should be able to control this agent then, right? We should be able to control this agent. And if we can't, then that's maybe a clue as to why it's not working the way we think it should. Yeah, I do not have control here. Let's print out the human action. So we can see what it thinks that we should be doing here. 4070. This doesn't trigger anything. Right key triggers something. So down key doesn't trigger anything. Everything but down key does trigger something, though. And it's just ignoring all of it, apparently. So that could be a good indicator, right? Where's the action? Velocity. Let's print it out in the Python. And then this should tell us, whoops. Okay, so then this will tell us why we don't have control over the player, and it seems like the neural network is still controlling it. And this very possibly will tell us what we need to do to fix the training as well. Good debug technique. Always have your environment be human playable. Okay, so I'm holding keys and nothing is getting transferred here whatsoever. If I hold W, nothing happens. No, none of these things are getting transferred. I can see my action on the bottom here, but it's not making it into the environment. Okay, so that's important then. Why is this not making it into the environment, and why do we have what looks like random data here? It's coming from this actions discrete. What is actions discrete? Actions discrete is just self.actions. Okay, that's the action. That should be the actions that we pass to the environment as a buffer. So we're correctly passing the player ID, the PID here, which is what we should need in order to get these velocities. And then we pass, yeah. So I'm suspecting that the action buffer is just completely not getting passed correctly at this point. We're passing self.actions of pointer through end, which I would think would be the correct thing. Yeah, that seems like the correct thing to me. So at this point, I kind of just want to print out the whole actions buffer, maybe. Let's print out the actions buffer to see if we have any control over that, and maybe the parsing is wrong. We're getting very close here. All right. So the first thing in the actions is the movement. So we're going to basically just see if it looks random or if it looks like it's correctly parsed. I suspect what's happening is it's not learning anything properly because it's just having random environment data. Okay. So this looks pretty random. Yeah. So the actions tensor is somehow getting screwed up. Self.actions actions is here set to be in int32. Render mode is passed with self.actions actions, the first 10 actions, which is correct. When we make the environments themselves, we pass a slice of actions from a pointer through the end. This pointer just goes over slices of 10, which is 10 agents per environment. This should also be correct. Right here, we load actions in to the game. Ah, this is right. This is self.actions. Unfortunately, I don't think that that's going to tell us too much about why this thing is bugged, but maybe. Okay. We're still not passing. That's weird. Self.actions 0 is equal to the human action. That's bizarre. Does this thing get changed at runtime? Why did you choose to explore MOBAs for reinforcement learning? Well, in addition to them being a really complex and interesting game genre for RL, there's historical precedent. I consider this to be the best result in all of reinforcement learning. The only problem is that absolutely nobody can build off of any of this work because they have lots of hardware. Not even lots of hardware by today's standards, but like, I don't have 256 GPUs. So I'm building a smaller scale, but ludicrously fast version of this so that we can actually match the training scale, if not the model size and like the actual game itself. And we can do some really awesome research really, really fast. We're actually going to be able to match these batch size numbers as well, which is really cool. We're going to be able to basically match like most of their scale parameters. It's all open source as well. So researchers are going to be able to use this environment for years to come. What is wrong? Provided I can actually get the thing working properly. That is. These buffers are not playing very nice with me at the moment. Clearly the data is not going to the C version of the environment, right? The data should be mirrored from Python to C, though. It should be the same data. So unless I accidentally did a copy somewhere, actions, what is it? Actions discrete. Oh, maybe I'm using the wrong one here. Actions discrete. No, we're using actions discrete, right? Actions continuous. Gold. That shouldn't be getting called somehow. Actions continuous and actions discrete. Maybe we load them into the wrong buffer or something. Self.actions equals actions. Actions is... Okay, we have it as an int at the moment. Now this all looks fine to me. This all looks totally fine. The heck else would it be? It's getting to be very weird. So if I press 7 here, I don't see a 7 in here, and this agent is still doing whatever the hell it wants. Yeah. I didn't just forget to rebuild it, did I? No. There's nothing I changed that should have been rebuilt. Self.actions. Wait. Action is equal to self. No. Am I somehow like not allocating? Oh, it gets... This was working before. This was working a couple of days ago. So somehow... But maybe I was using the continuous version of it, which was actions continuous here. Actions discrete and actions continuous. This looks right. What else could I have messed up? Does self.actions get overwritten or something? I don't think so. Yeah, no, there's no actions getting overwritten here. I thought there was like a weird thing that I'd done that would have caused the actions buffer to get overwritten. It's an int32. That's what it should be. Action space should match. Action space does match. Action should be it should be given a slice. It is being given a slice. It's being given the same exact type of slice as rewards, which we know work. Pointer through end. What's the size of the actions buffer? Num agents, which is correct. Which would be the same as the buffer allocated, which it is. Wait, we have another clue here, right? The additional clue is that new data is getting loaded into actions, right? The data is always changing here. We're constantly getting new data into actions. It's just that our data doesn't seem to be getting loaded into actions. And the reason is that we're stupid. This goes here. And the bug is just called being stupid. And now it works, with the caveat that the keys seem to be... Not all the keys seem to work. This works. I can't go up. I can go diagonally up. Diagonals work. All the diagonals work. The up key goes down. The right key goes right, the left key. So the up and down keys, the up key goes down and the down key doesn't do anything. Let's go look at that. So the up key, WS, D. This is supposed to be W, and this is supposed to be S. Now let's see if this works. Perfect. Do I fight? Yeah, it auto-targets. I mean, you don't fight particularly well, but you fight. Can I solo one minion, maybe? Oh yeah, look. Funny enough, it doesn't aggro because I'm just out of aggro range. And you will just stand here and die. Skills don't really do anything. Alright, but that's like the basic thing that we wanted. So now what we're going to do is... Let's get rid of those other prints. And all we want to know is we want to know the reward. I want to know how much reward we get. Because this will tell us basically like if these should be learning something interesting and they're just not learning it, or if there's a bug. If I go towards the ancient, I should be getting reward. Okay, so 0 reward. 05. Looks like I'm getting reward, right? You can't stop me. Okay. You get lots of reward. And then if you hit a wall, you get nothing. Very reasonable reward, right? How much do I get for killing this guy? I do not get a reward for killing this guy, really? Do neutral creeps not have XP set? Does not appear that I get any reward for kills. Why aren't we getting reward for kills? Player.reward plus equal reward. Let's debug here. So that's one thing that's going to hurt a bunch, is not having the XP reward. Though I don't think we should strictly need the XP reward just to get them to go mid and like fight. We're going to get a reward here or no? Ah. XP 35, reward 0. Target.xp on kill. It's set for towers. It's supposed to be set for neutrals. And it's supposed to be set for creeps. Oh, int of XP over 250. Well, I don't know why we have that. That would definitely cause this, right? Let's see if we get the reward correctly now. And if so, I think we're going to be ready to train some models on this. And if we know the controls work, then it should just be a matter of time and like a little bit of experimentation to get something training properly. Okay. We're hitting this thing. Reward 0. What the hell? Well, I'd still have an int. This is supposed to be float reward. What data type do I have? Do I have reward as an int? No, reward's a float. So this should be like a little bit over 0.1, right? So actually, this is like probably too low. Let's do like over 100 maybe. Though I don't know if this is going to let them kill enemy heroes because they don't get that big of a reward for hero kills. Okay. We're fighting. Perfect. Now we get a reward. Reward of 0.35. So I think that we can rebuild this. We can commit this. And let's see if we do any better. What did I forget to, what did I forget? I forgot to print somewhere, right? Yep. All right. We've got our model. Should be training. There we go. If we check in the UI here, the heck? There we go. It's only given us one data point. Should have given us more by now. Yeah, okay, here we go. So, reward goes from 0, which it should start at 0, up to some very small value. We're not seeing anything great. Whoa, I left and now it's 800k? No. It's kind of variable and I don't know why. I said we're going to have 1 million train SPS and we're going to have 1 million train SPS. It's just a matter of when I go do that level of optimization. For context, I have this exact same neural network training on multiple other environments at 1 million steps per second. So it will be 1 million steps per second. Okay, so this does improve reward a bit, but they should really be learning this very quickly. This is not something that should be hard to learn. I mean, it is going up. Cool project. What RL algorithm are you using? It's PPO. It's PPO on a small convnet with LSTM. We're just trying to get some sanity checks going here, so that we can get the agents actually learning to play the game pretty quick. Like at least learning some basics. Do you know what OpenAI used for their DoTA bot? PPO with an LSTM. Same thing. They had a substantially fancier architecture and and obviously much larger networks. Their networks were, let's see, 10,000 times larger than mine? Is that right? No. 50,000. 1,000 times larger than mine. But hey, we're doing pretty good. It's 130 million steps trained. I'm hoping we don't have to run a hyperparam sweep just to get it to do the basic thing. Though we might end up having to. DoTA is also 1,000 times more complex than your MOBA as of now. Well, yeah. I'm one guy. I can't build all of DoTA in a week. But I mean, it looks pretty nice. Like, You've probably seen this GIF on Twitter. Like, we've got lanes, we've got creeps, we've got 5 different hero classes, we've got neutral camps, we've got all the towers, we've got the whole map, right? So we have some stuff. It's not terrible. It runs real fast as well. Thank you. This is all open source too, so you're free to play with it. It's in, oh wow, we hit 675. Awesome. It's just in this ini config branch for now. It'll get merged to dev pretty soon. Go ahead, start the repo on your way, and if you wouldn't mind, helps us out a lot. But yeah, it's in here. It's in Pufferlib Environments Ocean. And I'm constantly pushing little updates and changes to it. What are these agents doing? They really should be learning. They should be learning very quickly to go towards the ancient. The fact that they're not leveling means that they're not learning that as well. Is this entropy crashing? Is it the way I'm doing multi-discrete? Hold on. Just run a little sanity env on the other machine. Oh. Well, shit. Okay. I think I broke something in dev. That's good to know. I remember somebody asked me for a patch, and I probably broke something in the process. We're gonna push a little thing here. I'll fix this separately. I bet this will just make it work. By the way, what is the purpose of the LSTM in this setup? I mean, RL noob never worked PPO in practice. The purpose of the LSTM is so that the agents can have memory. They can't remember anything from previous frames if you don't give them an LSTM. That is the purpose. What? Why did that rebuild instantly? I'm confused. And does this improve their capabilities? Well, yeah. Think about it. Like, if you do not remember anything about what's happened in the past in the game, you're fundamentally limited on what you can do. Oh, there we go. Why the heck did that not... What? Where is this thing that this is being weird? Is this... Oh, I'm on the wrong machine. Okay, that's fine. No big deal. Too many indices for... Right, this is just compilation. Right, because the past is not encoded into the current state. But we still want the Markov... The Markov property is irrelevant. You can ignore all of the math here. It's very simple. It's just, if you don't give it any information about the past, then, and it's making its decisions based only off what you give it, then it has no memory. That's all there is to it. There's literally not, like, the Markov property is irrelevant here. Mm-hmm. Let's just train this. Couldn't we embed the past decisions into our state space? How would you do that? The only other way you could do that is like you'd have to concatenate or something. There's not a good way of doing that. So this decode needs to just go like this. I see, I think. Yeah, like, that's what the LSTM is for, right? It's for learning the embedding. Because otherwise you're just stacking frames, and then you only get like n frames worth of memory. So that's like, yeah, you're paying a lot and you're blowing up the complexity of your forward pass. It's way better to just use a state-based model. Isn't that what the point is, the LSTM? Yeah, exactly. That is exactly the point of the LSTM. That doesn't mean the LSTM is perfect at it, though. LSTMs are not amazing models. Actions do not match the state space. Jeez. Why not? I forget to update something? Discrete of 9. Should match the action space, right? What I'm doing now is I'm just hacking this to be discrete. Here it is. I'm hacking this to be discrete because I think there's a pufferlib dev branch bug with multi-discrete that I probably introduced while trying to fix something for somebody else. This isn't even the dev branch, to be fair, so this isn't even bad. This is like some random hack branch. There we go. Cool. I think based on this, it definitely deboosts your posts when you add a link even in a reply. Because my posts are now doing twice as well as before. So that's unfortunate. I gotta put Puffer AI, Pufferlib like this. But the more you know, that'll help now with this. Getting this project out there. So here's a fun thing. These models are like... These models here that we're looking at nowadays are like hundreds of billions. We have now 400 billion parameter models. Right? The models that we're training here are like hundreds of thousands. Whoops. Hundreds of thousands to like millions of parameters. But they actually use like the same amount of... They actually use the same or more data than these language models use. We can consume like a gigabyte of data per second with these models. So we're like training on the amount of data that the whole language model is trained on. We do that on one GPU in like a day or two. That's pretty cool. And that's why RL is awesome. Well, this is now bizarre. Reward should be... This should definitely be good now. Unless I broke something in like a recent refactor, this should be good. Yeah, no, this is fine. Solves the test env. Test env still works. It'd be pretty hard for me to break the whole library without noticing it. But why would reward go to 0 like this? I think I realized where confusion. You don't feed every frame into the convnet and then into PPO. You feed X continuous frames as 1. You feed 1 frame into the convnet, and then that goes into the LSTM with the current state and goes forward. You don't stack frames. You feed 1 frame in to the convnet and plus the state that has been from the last time step from the LSTM. Did it start learning right here? Yeah, all good. I can't tell what the heck is happening here. This should really not be hard to learn. So if this is hard to learn, that means something jank is happening, essentially. Well, now the reward is going up, but like, why did it... Why does it crash in the first place? I'm trying to think of like likely bug sources here. We check the observations, they look reasonable. We check the rewards, they look reasonable. We made the action space single discrete. We made sure that it's playable and that the play returns reasonable rewards. Would really expect it to have learned something here. But this is not the reward curve that we want. I mean, it should basically learn this instantly, you would think. I mean, this really should be easy. I can go mess with some hypers, maybe. So it is learning. But, like, this is a ridiculous pace for something this simple. We got this entropy coefficient, which is, like, reasonable, right? Lambda and gamma, which are sufficiently low for something this easy. A BPT horizon, yeah. I don't freaking know. We're gonna YOLO some stuff. This is usually reasonable. A reasonable way to like get stuff to work quickly. We want 400 Ms. Single core. No multiprocessing. Like, this should basically learn instantly. It should be that easy. Okay, already we see a very different entropy value. Some of these should have been reported to 1B by now. There we go. 8E minus 5. Ugh. Have you ever looked into applying active inference? Do you mean model-based updates? World model stuff? It's optimizing now, but this is still ridiculously slow. Free energy minimization. You'd have to define that in the context of a problem like this. We have in RL, we have curiosity-based learning, like we have curiosity stuff, we've got model-based learning, right? World modeling, all these things. Or are you talking about something different? Minimize its surprise. Okay, yeah. So We have that in RL. We just use different language. Surprise minimization, we usually refer to that as curiosity-based learning, or if we're explicitly minimizing surprise by making predictions about what we expect the future to be, then we refer to that as world modeling, typically, or model-based learning. There have been some results in this area. The research has been sketchy, though. The research has been very sketchy. I burnt a bunch of hours and wasted a lot of time trying to replicate a very high-profile paper in this area recently. And, yeah, it's something that's going to probably be needed at some point, but I don't think that we have a good understanding of the form in which we want to incorporate that. People are doing like planning in hallucinated rollouts or hallucinated space. That I don't think we need. Some form of prediction of the future probably needed. Generative modeling to go through the future outcomes and then pick one that minimizes. So that I don't think we necessarily need. I think we do need to model the future, but I don't think we need to like iteratively hallucinate through future outcomes. The whole strength of reinforcement learning comes from the fact that we don't need to like imagine what it would be like if we had good data. We have good data. We have ground truth from the environment. So instead of spending time trying to learn based off of predictions of what we think the future will be, we can just simulate more data and learn directly off of it. One of the big strengths of RL. We have infinite data. Zero, 2. It's weird. I mean, we literally have infinite data. Like, look at this. Right? We have unlimited ground truth data. And yeah, you won't always have unlimited ground truth data. Will that lead us to consciousness akin to us? No idea. A friend of mine who's deep into model-based RL told me that it's ridiculously hard. Yeah. Because you're taking the thing that RL does really well, which is ingest tons of data very quickly, and you're saying, but what if we did RL without that? That's why that's hard. Like, you're really throwing away the major strength of RL. This thing is learning, it's just not learning fast enough to be satisfying. Like, this is really stupid that this takes this long. This is not hard. Should I do like a 10 mil sweep or something? Oh, come on. Is this just hypers? Like, what the heck? This should just be so unbelievably easy. How we're able to come to conclusions with such limited... Well, the thing is, like, you don't necessarily need to model the future in order to train an agent that can model the future. Like, have you seen the OpenAI 5 models? They're not explicitly trained to predict what the opponents are doing, but they very clearly understand. Like, they understand what you're going to do before you do it. So, they've developed some sort of internal world model without you training them to do that. So, it's completely possible for that thing to just be an emergent property. You don't necessarily have to train it directly. It's a really high learning rate. 9 to 1,000. Let's do 160 maybe. And then, no, that's really small, isn't it? And 320 times 4 is... We're just doing some YOLO runs here. Why does it immediately train to be worse than the default? Thing immediately trains to be worse than random. I mean, there's got to be something wrong, right? Is there a possibility of you live streaming on a fun environment using hierarchical reinforcement? Hierarchical reinforcement learning does not work. That's just not a thing that works consistently. Well, this is funny that this is actually like doing stuff now and getting 0 reward. That's really weird. I think that there's something very wrong with this reward. We'll see. So let me just show you something, right? Here's the best result in RL. Everything is published about it. You have a 150 million parameter model. You have an amount of hardware that's not even that big by modern standards with language modeling. You have a 1-layer LSTM, no hierarchy, no algorithmic shenanigans, very, very simple and just good engineering. This solves DoTA. DoTA is a ludicrously complicated game environment. Like, I don't think if you were to describe DoTA to your average adult, I don't think that they would believe you that people have a hobby that is this complicated. That, like, average people have a hobby that is this complicated. It is insanely intricate. This thing is superhuman. It beats the top teams. It, like, stomped basically everybody in pubs. It was just godly. That's what RL can do. Without any algorithmic shenanigans. That is what RL can do. It is not one character. It is a pretty sizable pool of characters. It is not one character. They didn't do the whole pool of characters because that's a lot of compute extra because you have to train all the characters, but they had like a sizable pool. They originally did a 1v1 mid, and then they did the full game 5v5, and they stomped OG. But is it one model that can do multiple characters? Yes, it is. It's one model that independently controls each character. So it's one model, you run different copies of the model, and it controls each of the characters on the team. Really, really, really freaking good. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. This is impressive. I'll have to look more. It's, I mean, this paper is, I don't know why nobody, like, I mean, I guess it is very highly cited, but I swear nobody's read the full paper. It's so good. I mean, basically, you, like, let me put it this way. Like, if you were to just read this one paper and then go from there versus, like, read the whole rest of the field for the most part, like the vast majority of academia minus this paper, you'll learn more from reading this one paper. They saw everything. They saw everything. And then academia spent the last several years, like, fiddling around with algorithms. And none of them have done any better than PPO. Not consistently, at least. Maybe SAC for robotics, but that's about it. And I think that the reasons for that are even kind of sketch. Okay, so this is now interesting because this reward here is... This reward is low, like 0, but they're leveling. How are they leveling? Are we back? We're back, right? Stream just blipped. Hopefully it doesn't go down. So the model used local state data, which is the same as the data that you would use to render the map view that humans are seeing. So it used equivalent data to what humans have access to. And the reason for that is if you render the game, you're 100 times slower. So you need 1,000,000 cores instead of 100,000. It's a pure infra limitation of rendering. So, yeah. How are these things leveling and not getting reward? Because they're doing something, but they're not getting reward. Yeah, they've got a level 25. Okay. We're doing some very small tests here. We're going to just log some position information. Okay, so we're just going to log their X and Ys. I want to see if they're, like, actually moving towards the center, or if, like, some janky weird thing is just happening. This seems to be logging successfully, so I'm going to go use the restroom and I'll be right back. How are we doing? Are agents being stupid? Let's see. This is going to tell us something either way. Radiant X is 30. Radiant Y. Oh, they're going to the center. Look. They're going to the center. You see that? Dire Y. And Dire X. They're not doing much yet. What did I miss here? I remember watching the games of OpenAI 5 live. I was in the audience as well for their finals, not for TI. Agents were mechanically subpar compared to the pros, but they gimped them mechanically so that they wouldn't be unfair. But their objective taking was really good, so they were really optimizing for long-term rewards. I mean, that's what should tell you that it's good, right? I mean, yeah, if they just like perfect mechanic stomped the pros, that would be one thing, but they didn't. What are useful metrics to plot when implementing RL? Average reward per batch? It depends on the environment. As you can see, I'm adding lots of environment specific stuff here. So like, I started saying, okay, let's see what level they're getting, right? It's like, okay, they're leveling up, but like, I didn't think that they were going to the center of the map, so let's start logging their X and Y. Okay, it looks like they're starting to learn to go to the center of the map. That's interesting, right? But they're not getting any reward for doing it, so something is wonky there. So now this thing is going to be done in 22 seconds, and we're going to look at this model and see what it does. And we're going to see if it matches up with what this is telling us. How are we doing with Puffer? 675 still. Nice. This is solid progress. This is huge for reinforcement learning as well. For something this new, I'm very, very happy. How do you get live stats in the terminal? Well, I built a little thing. It uses Rich for layout, and I built that as a dashboard so that people can have nice RL stats in the terminal. Free and open source. All free and all open source. Glad you like it. Your training model is probably better than the teammates I've had in my last few games. Man, I played League for a bit. I think I like Dota more. Um, but like, I always think like, oh man, I should play that again. It's gonna be fun, and it's never fun. It's like the coolest game ever, but it's just such rage bait. I swear. Such a cool game though. It's probably more fun if you're actually good at it. Dota's vastly superior. I really like Dota. I mean, I liked pretty much everything about Dota. I didn't play very much of it. The queue times were god awful as a new player was the only thing. Um yeah, I tried playing League and it's like it's good, but nothing felt as good as playing Lena on Dota. That was so freaking good. I don't really have time to play a bunch of games these days. I'm kind of just building this all the time, but my main jam was always MMOs. Getting people into it is almost impossible. It took me I spent 40 hours just like poring over everything I could find about the game the week that OpenAI 5 launched, just trying to understand this game. And I'd never played a MOBA, and I was like, holy hell, this is complicated. Like, wow. People play this as a hobby? Like, are there geniuses? Like, yeah, you get a lot of respect for it as soon as you actually engage with it, right? RuneScape and Guild Wars 1. I have played like 3 or 4 thousand hours of old school. I had to stop at the end of last summer or the middle of last summer so I could actually do work. MMOs are just straight heroin for me, I swear. I always liked StarCraft but was never good at it. I don't think I could do StarCraft either. Maybe I could. I never had like the reaction time for FPS or anything like that, but I had decent enough muscle memory that I could do high APM for MMOs. That was fun. Yo, Tree, does Inferno Cape Master's Helm Dusted Omelet mean anything to you? Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know. Uh, MOBA, Modival, Render, Raylab. 2,100 total. I think that's where about where my account was around like 2K. I didn't skill. I just did sweaty PVM. Well, this doesn't make any sense, right? Why do these things just do this? Why are they like this? Are they just like clipping the minions on their way past? Is that what they're doing? They're just like clipping these minions on their way by? But then what are these guys doing? Need some RL agents for RuneScape next. Heh. Don't break my favorite game. Why are they like this? These two came all the way down here. Are they actually killing anything, or are they just like clipping? I imagine they're not killing anything doing this. Right? Well, we have one additional we do have one additional technique we can use. Y'all want the hidden debug technique? Okay. Last hit count of each agent. I have access to the XP, which is about the same. They don't get XP for being in AoE. They only get XP for last hits. All right. Ready for the hidden debug technique? I don't know if I want to share it. It's very powerful. We have to report in. Report interval. We do it in Snake. We didn't do it in Snake. One second. Let me go look one thing up. The hidden debug technique. Where's this thing? Let's see if this does it for us. So the goal here is to render the screen and log it so we can see if over the course of training there's some weird, stupid, degenerate situation that this thing gets itself into that's crashing it. That's the most likely thing. That's the debug technique, is to just log the damn render. $41.76 hours on my main. Yeah. My favorite content in that game was solo challenge mode chambers. That was good. No skilling. Where are the renders? Should be some renders by now. Unless there's like a specific thing that I'm forgetting. Yeah, underscore map is how I prefix it, right? Yeah, info's a MOBA map here. I have to log it more often? Should have been logged. Overview. Environment. Losses. I don't see it. I think we got to increase the frequency of this. Never like Tob. Well, the thing is, that's because Tob is designed to make you absolutely despise all of your teammates. So if you like hating your teammates, it's really fun. Same problem as League. That said, I did hard mode on day of release. It was so sweaty. Why the hell is this thing not logging screenshots already? It should be logging screenshots. Is it getting cut out somehow? It shouldn't be. You got infos of MOBA map, right? Where is the stupid thing? Definitely should be rendering by now. Oh, there we go. So you have MOBA map in 1B. And according to this, the Dire have some levels. What's it say is happening? According to this, here it looks like 5. So they're sitting there. How are they getting any XP and stuff if they're sitting there? They look like they're stationary, right? How the heck is the Dire level mean increasing if they're sitting there? Radiant Y is constant this entire time. Radiant X is constant this entire time, but somehow the level mean goes up. That doesn't make sense, right? What gives XP? Killing stuff. Getting the last hit on stuff. We have any more maps? Nope. They're just sitting there. Towers are... It looks like the minions have taken some tier 1s, maybe? Minions took some tier 1s. That shouldn't change anything, though. Right? DoTA. Says that the Dire Y changed. What's it claiming the entropy is of this model? It's claiming this model actually has some entropy, which is just bullshit. There's no way this model has any entropy, right? There's just no way. It's completely crashed. I mean, something's totally at odds here. It's saying that this model is doing stuff. It's saying that it's leveling up, but I'm looking at the model on the map and it's not doing anything. Why are we not getting more maps logged? Radiant level means shoots way up. Dyer has level 25 somehow. Doing what? Maybe the metrics are broken? Maybe. But I need to understand what's happening here. I really wish this would log more frames. This is bullshit. This should be logging. I'm just going to put this in, I'm just going to put this here. So we're going to just rerun this. We're going to rerun this. And we're going to, at the same time, we're going to debug locally and try to figure out what the hell's happening. This makes absolutely no sense. So we need to go look at logits as well. Let's go check entropy. Where are the probs? This looks like high entropy data. We're going to look at this properly. Okay. Oops, no, not like this. There. Pulling out all the stops with the debugging here. Okay, here's our map. We got reasonable logits. High entropy doesn't mean more movement if it's stuck, right? Well, if it's stuck, then it should be spamming the same button over and over, so it shouldn't be able to have high entropy. If it's stuck, it shouldn't be able to have high entropy. So let's see what these agents do. Okay, look at this, right? They're getting themselves stuck, right? They haven't moved. Doesn't look possible. We'll give it a few more time steps for them to stabilize, maybe. It's funny how one of the agents actually escapes, or two of them look like they escape. There are a couple dire agents that are kind of doing stuff. That's funny, they're doing stuff, right? Not really, they're now stuck. No, this one is... Oh, they're fighting the neutral, you see it? And now they're going to get murked because they aggroed 3 neutrals. But let's look at the logits, because it says they all have high entropy, which shouldn't be possible here, right? They're very suspiciously similar as well. This last one has quite different logits. It's probably these guys over here. So we've got log probs. Do we not have normalized logits? Log prob. Where's action come from? Five one. Multinomial logits of probs. See a lot of 5s and 1s. Are they spamming 2 keys instead of 1? Is that how it's working? 5 and 1, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. 0, 1, yeah. I see an 8 in here. And then 0 is only for this guy. This is weird. Really doesn't make any sense that they would be doing this. Should be an incredibly easy to learn task. They're not learning it. We're seeing metrics that indicate that they're playing the game at some points. It goes into a corner where only 4 moves are valid and the other 4 moves don't work anymore because it's stuck. Do 4 valid moves, it's giving high entropy. Yeah, so that's what I think is happening potentially. But then the question is, why is it going into a corner? It has easily available reward, right? Has incredibly easily available reward. Maybe this run will tell us something. Here's our MOBA map. So, start training. They're stuck there. They're still stuck there. 3 are stuck there. Where'd the 4th one go? One of them must have moved. I don't see it. They are still stuck. They all look pretty stuck. Very weird. Hmm. I'm trying to think what I'm missing here. Here's one of the agents. No, wait, this is a neutral. And this says, what does it say it's getting? It actually says it's getting some reward now. And it has levels. So basically, this thing says it's winning, and I look at the map and it looks like it's not winning. So weird. So incredibly weird. Well, got a few options left available to us. Are you handling a situation where an agent move would cause collision with another agent? Yes. Could that be impacting their valid moveset? Yes. They can't move into each other. I mean, we should even be able to... Here. If I just set this to human... Right? Whoops, we gotta get rid of this breakpoint. Yeah. So let's go play the game with them. Let's go play our game with our stupid teammates here. They're really stupid. Oops, setting an array element with a sequence, right? We haven't tested since this thing. 7 GG. Action. Okay, so. Oops. Here's our game. Can you run into a wall and see if you're getting any reward? Yeah, that's a good idea. Here. Let's do that. So what we're going to do is... Okay, we're going to print the first reward. I did something like this before. Okay, so we get 0 reward. Negative 0.05 there for the move away from the ancient. Right, that's a rent. Can't log that. Okay. I'm like wondering if we're maximizing, like it looks like they're training to do the opposite thing. Well, they're not. So here. Negative 0.05. If I keep running into a wall, zeros. If I go this way, I get 0.1. 0.05. Literally all you gotta do is run down mid for reward. Looks reasonable, right? Just run it down mid. See, I get all the way there. Hey puffers, what's up? Why you all chilling over there? I'm in your fountain. What's up? Right? And then if I suicide here, I can get more reward. Pretty weird, right? Looks very simple. The observations would have to be like completely wrong, but we checked the observations and they looked good. No reward if you move again. Yeah, there's no reward there. What if you increase the reward for going mid? I can do that. Let's get rid of the XP reward. Okay, so we just remove the XP reward. And we want to increase the reward for going mid. 1 times distance, yeah. Tempted to go back to the larger scale version of it. I guess this is fine for now, though. The hell? Could it be due to the loss of entropy is so high? We can try that next. We have a pretty big entropy bonus on this. Well, this is broken because if it's getting 0 reward on an easy task that literally requires 1-step competence, that's broken. I don't know, 0.05 entropy coefficient is the highest I've ever even seen used. How's it instantly go to 0 reward like this? How the hell is this even? It's like, are they minimizing reward? Let me try one more thing. Let me try one more thing. Or one other idea. One more thing, and then I'll take more suggestions. This will be like a 2-minute test. It's going to be something stupid, I'm sure. I want to make sure I'm not desyncing the reward values. Well, ain't that funny. So these guys think they're getting reward for whatever this dumb thing they're doing is. Which is... Well, wait, they're not actually... Are they doing different stuff now? Not really, right? Give them a second. Rewards going up according to this. Are they playing the game? Are they suddenly playing the game, though? I didn't change anything. I just changed the log parameter. Where are they? According to this, they think they are doing well. I really, really doubt I have it set to minimize instead of maximize. I usually don't screw up that badly. Right now, they only get a reward for walking towards the enemy. And it looks like they're actually doing stuff. Well, Radiant is. Which I didn't change anything, so that's weird. Yeah, Radiant's actually doing stuff. How's it this variable? Wait. It should not be able to be this variable. Unless they're actually winning games. It's possible they're winning games. Games won. I don't know what's making them suddenly do this. Like... Oh yeah, they're winning games. But I didn't change anything just then. All I changed was a log parameter. Doesn't explain why Dyer is sitting there. Well, they're not sitting there now, according to this. Now Dyer's doing stuff. This says Dyer's doing stuff. Dyer level mean is going, very bizarre. We're gonna have to watch this. So the reward spikes up at the end above 0.5. Assumedly Dyer's learned something by the end of this. Maybe. Very jank. Shoot, it's already 7:30. I go get dinner soon. Not as productive as the day as I'd hoped. Why is this so weird? Client. Let's see. Does this work? Forgot to make that one change. Turn action. We will follow the puffers into battle. What? Why is it super fast? Oh. That's why. Follow the puffers into battle. This puffer goes into battle. This puffer goes into battle and gets murked. This puffer pulls a bunch of ads. That puffer's not particularly smart. That's real weird. And then we still have puffer stuck here. I don't know what they think they're doing. Apparently some of them do eventually go through like this. And I guess they eventually get XP off of the creeps. It's not exactly good. Where are dire puffs? Don't kill me. I need to go see the dire puffs. I have to go. Very fun to watch. Thanks for stopping by. Oh, look. They went over to here. And these ones, they go mid. Dire's now going mid. Log prop bug you mentioned. I don't know what the heck. Like, look, these guys are just chilling over here now. And then, like, this one is stuck over here. It's very weird. I also want to go look at the reward bug because this doesn't look like it's getting good reward, right? And this model thinks it's doing very well. So self-buff rewards, right? When you reset, you give it this slice of self.buff.rewards. Pointer through end. And you reset it. And some rewards.append. I was already doing this correctly. So somehow this latest run just changed it. Entropy or something? It shouldn't be entropy. It's real stupid. I really don't know what the hell is wrong with this. And I need to go grab dinner in a second. Let me just think if there's anything else I can run to think about, like, what the heck this would be. It's gotta be a bug. Last thing I'm trying before dinner. Where are the stats? There we go. Still no stats? That's kind of ridiculous. Zero reward. Low entropy. Bizarre. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to continue on this tomorrow. Here it goes. Yeah, zero reward. So I'm gonna have to continue on this tomorrow. This is very odd. I'm sure this is like some dumb data problem or something because this is like the easiest possible setting to solve. This is one of the things really hard about RL is trying to debug like this much deeper stack than the rest of AI. So I'm going to be working on this for as long as it takes to get this set up. But for now I'm kind of burnt, so I'm going to come back fresh tomorrow. And I'm going to see if I can figure out how to like at least partially automate this process. I might see if I can run a little sweep or something. Do I want to try to run a sweep right now? Not really. I think that there's something like fundamentally freaking wrong with this. Yeah. So I'm gonna grab some like really robust hyperparams and stuff from some other places. I'm gonna match like the grid environment because this is basically the same task. And I'm gonna go from there. But we'll be back tomorrow. For folks that are new around here, do feed the puffer. The puffer has a a very nice diet of stars. So all this stuff is open source. If you want to help me out, just star the repo. I post all this stuff on X here. I also, when I go live, it's notified here as well. But it's all just RL. And yeah, you can follow this here. And it helps me out. So thank you very much. And I will be back tomorrow. Bye.